Hey guys, it's Tim Miller from the Bulwark. Subscribe to the feed if you haven't. Come on, we really appreciate it. I usually don't pop on here with personnel announcements. This isn't a Politico morning email where I'm letting you know who got hired and fired in Washington, D.C. But I sometimes random personnel announcements have bigger implications. And I think that is true in this case. JD Vance has hired as a deputy communications official Buckley Carlson. Buckley Carlson, those names might sound familiar to you. Carlson, the last name, his father, Tucker Carlson.
I had a direct experience with it.
In a spiritual attack by a demon?
Yeah, by a demon.
Buckley, the first name, named after, well, his uncle's name is Buckley, but which is also a reference to William F. Buckley, the conservative commentator, founder of National Review, revered conservative figure. So this is, you got the nepotism there in both names, both the first and the last name with Buckley. And here's the thing. I just want to say, before I get into my rant about the meritocracy and what I think might be underlying this from kind of a long-term political house of cards perspective, I just want to caveat. I've never worked with Buckley. I've never met Buckley. You don't actually have to be that skilled to be a deputy press secretary or deputy communications director. I've had that job before. I was pretty good at it. As I said, look, we were in the single digits a couple days ago. The race is extremely volatile. We think we're moving in the right direction. We hope we're moving in the right direction. We'll have to see tonight. It's in the voters' hands now. There were people that were pretty bad at it, but you probably wouldn't have noticed. This is not like national security advisor. This is not somebody, working on the nuclear projects. It's not somebody that is, vetting to make sure our food supply is safe. This is somebody that's putting out cheeky press releases on behalf of the vice president. So it's about as unimportant of a job in the actual work that you could imagine. It's kind of hard to think about a less relevant job than being a deputy communications person for a vice president, kind of like the assistant to the manager type situation here. But it's still a prestigious gig, right? Like the work might not be very meaningful, but it's desirable, right? It's fun to do PR for people in the White House, for vice president or president. You get to be on Air Force Two. You get to do all this sorts of other stuff. You get to tell your friends about what your access to the White House. There are a lot of perks, a lot of ancillary perks to being around the vice president. So it's a competitive job, and that is where the meritocracy side of this comes in. It's like we keep being told that it was a great problem in this country that people were just mad. People were mad about DEI. People were mad that their son, their Devin, little Corbin, isn't getting into the college of his dreams because he's a white man. And that is a big problem that people are very upset about. And we cannot have this, right? We cannot have this. Like, I agree with this. People should be judged based on the content of their character alone, right? Their resume, their work ethic. Like, that is what should drive these hiring decisions. That's what should drive what kind of college you get into. That is the American way. That's what MAGA Americans, that's all they're asking for, I'm told, right? It's just a meritocracy. So it's pretty interesting when, like, multiple television show hosts are in the cabinet, where the children of television show hosts are getting prominent jobs. Like, Buckley isn't even a TV host himself. It's just dad. And his dad isn't even a TV host. His dad is a fired TV host. And so, like, is this really the meritocracy? Could the vice president not have found, for such a job that is so desired, could the vice president have not found somebody that, had a longer resume, that had, better PR chops? Maybe not. Maybe Buckley's the best guy on the market. I know for a fact that Pete Hegseth isn't the best person on the market for Department of Defense, for example. That's another white guy. I know that Robert F. Kennedy Jr. is certainly not the best person on the market to run a Department of Health and Human Services.
I picked up the bear and put him in the back of my van because I was going to skin the bear, and it was very good condition, and I was going to put the meat in my refrigerator, and you can do that in New York City.
Based on his total lack of experience in this world and conspiratorial beliefs, but he had a nice last name as well, Kennedy. Carlson and Kennedy, they both get in. I will say that all of these unmerited hires do seem to be white guys. Eagle Ed Martin, I've mentioned Eagle Ed, talked about him on the podcast with Chris Hayes today. He's the new district attorney for Washington. He is just a total political hack, like a lifelong political hack. That's a very prominent and prestigious role, being the district attorney for Washington, another white man. So, it's not seeming very meritorious to me. It's seeming more like, favors for pals. It's seeming more like we're going to reward dumb, loyal people. We're going to reward Nepo babies. We're going to reward, friends and family. That's just a different kind of non-merit, just a different kind of non-merit. So I'm just asking that they practice what they preach on the meritocracy. And again, maybe Buckley is merited, but taken as a whole, RFK, Eagle Ed, Hegseth, we could go down the list. It's not feeling like a group that's like at the top of the merit game. That's all I'm saying. One last little thing. JVL floated this for me. You do wonder if there's any Machiavellian stuff at play with JD Vance here, because Donald Trump did make a joke yesterday that he might run for office again.
I've raised a lot of money for the next race that I assume I can't use for myself, but I'm not 100% sure because I don't know. I think I'm not allowed to run again. I'm not sure.
It's not that funny of a joke for me, because I don't think you could find anybody who is being honest who would say that they think there's a 0% chance he actually tries it. I'm not saying it's going to happen or that we're going to have a Putin autocracy. I'm just saying that you got to admit he might try. So he's joking about it. He might try. But let's say he doesn't try. Or let's say he flirts with trying for a while and then decides he'd rather just golf. You look at who the most likely successors to him are within the GOP. And to me, I just think there are really only three names: DeSanctimonious, JD Vance, and Tucker. Other people might emerge. 4 years is a long time. But if we were going on to the prediction markets right now, I would assume that those are the top three names in the prediction markets, with JD first. And so you do wonder if JD is maybe sidelining a potential future foe a little bit, trying to make nice with a potential future foe, and just be like, Tucker, you don't have to primary me. All right, I'll bring your kiddo in, and we'll be nice to you. We'll give you the Elon Musk shadow president office. I don't know. I just think that's something to watch. There might be something afoot here with JD and Tucker. So there you go. That is your hiring and firing and a report for today from the Bulwark. We got much more, so stick around, subscribe to the feed. We'll be seeing you all soon.